Hosting right now. The honourable member for Courtenay Albany.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, with your permission, can I start again? Thank you so much. Madam Speaker, we know that we're facing a global crisis right now when it comes to marine plastic pollution, the impact it's having on our oceans right now. We're seeing over 8 million tons of plastic pollution entering our oceans every year globally. This plastic pollution is killing thousands, hundreds of thousands of marine animals and millions of seabirds. It's a huge problem, not just globally, but certainly here at home. And Madam Speaker, when we talk about the state of our ocean and our duty to protect it, this is for the species that don't have a voice, Madam Speaker. We had a spill off the west coast of British Columbia, as you may recall, 4 years ago. 35 large shipping containers spilled on our waters, and the Government of Canada was nowhere to be seen. It was fell on the backs of local communities and local stakeholder groups like Clayoquot Cleanup, which is now called the Clayoquot Restoration Society, Surfrider, Pacific Rim, local stakeholders that took on this challenge of cleaning up this marine debris that spread throughout our coast. We're also hearing about our garbage ending up in places like the Philippines, Madam Speaker. As you may recall, the Philippines, declared war on Canada because our inability and the government's inability to deal with a problem that grew into a diplomatic relationship issue because they didn't want our garbage, and it sat in their harbor for several years. We're hearing that our garbage is ending up in Malaysia. Children are living in plastic garbage slums, and it's our plastic, Madam Speaker, our garbage. It's disgraceful and embarrassing for all Canadians. Children shouldn't be living amongst our garbage in developing nations, and it needs to stop, and it can stop, Madam Speaker. The Government of Canada has signed a part of the Basel Convention where they have to get permission from developing countries to stop shipping their garbage to developing nations. But Madam Speaker, what we want is the government to not even seek permission, to actually stop shipping our garbage to developing nations. It needs to stop, Madam Speaker. It's the responsible thing to do. I do want to applaud the government for, hearing our voices, the pressure from us, and calling on the government to take on this huge issue. We worked with the government. We worked with the Minister of Environment when he was the Parliamentary Secretary. He came to Victoria with a meeting and myself and the former member of Victoria, Murray Rankin, and we met with the University of Victoria Environmental Law Centre, and they had produced a report on the 7 ways to address marine plastic pollution. And citing those recommendations, the government did encapsulate some of them. They've taken some action when it comes to dealing with ghost and derelict fishing gear. When they've talked a great bunch about single-use plastics, but we still haven't seen any action or commitments, Madam Speaker, despite the fact that nations and jurisdictions around the world have taken action. This is still falling on the backs of local governments and on provincial governments. So, Madam Speaker, the environment and the species in our environment can't wait any longer. And we're calling on this government to make their announcements about their single-use plastic commitments and commit to dealing with industrial-use plastics. And so, Madam Speaker, I look forward to hearing from the Parliamentary Secretary, look forward to continue to work with the government and the urgency on delivering on this urgent matter.